Hi again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Sunday, I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far, and thank you so much for joining me here today. So today we are back, we are building in Brindleton Bay on this 30 by 30 lot, I believe. I hope it's 30 by 30. And we are building a fun family home for up to 8 Sims. Now this house is very deceptive. It looks relatively, I wouldn't say small, but definitely more like a medium-sized house from the outside. But I managed to squeeze 8 Sims into this house. For anyone who plays with these larger families, this house would be absolutely perfect. I love how this turned out. It was kind of a long process, just to be truthful. This is my 4th attempt at trying to build a house for today's speed build, and I was struggling so much. I started on Wednesday last week, well, this week, Wednesday just gone. I started to try and think of some ideas for a speed build for you all, and I had gone through so many ideas, apartments, houses, other lots. I don't want to spoil it because I feel like I might revisit the lot that I actually started, but I digress. And I was finding it really hard, so I had to step away for just a couple of days and think about what I really wanted to build. And I found an inspiration image which I found on Pinterest. I'll pop that on the image on the screen for you now so that you can see the sort of overall shape that I was going for. It took me a while to get the colour scheme. The colour scheme on the reference image is quite bland, and it's definitely not what I wanted from this house. I wanted this house to be really colourful and really alive. I recently did a 100 baby challenge house, which I will link in the top right hand corner for you now. So if you want to check that one out, please do so. And I wanted to keep it kind of the same as that. Really colourful, really lively, really just full of life and just really family friendly. So that's definitely what we went for with the exterior and the interior of this house. I really like how this turned out, so you will have to let me know in the comments below what you think of this house, what your overall thoughts, because I love to hear your guys' feedback. Of course, like, I have to appreciate that you guys are the ones that download my houses and use them, or you watch my speed builds and you sort of build along with me, which I think is really awesome as well. So currently working on the exterior here. You can see from the intro video that I do in every speed build, the overall shape is there, but look, the colour scheme is still very rough at this point. Now I was convinced I wanted to come up with some sort of like neutral colour palette for the outside, and then I started thinking, no, that's not what I want from this house. I want this house to be colourful. And so I changed the roof pattern and colour, and then I also changed the flower boxes outside, and it amazes me how much that can just change a build. I'm also using windows from the My Wedding Stories game pack, which I think work really well with a suburban house. I haven't actually used these windows before. Even when I was doing my Tartosa builds, I don't believe I used these windows, so it was really nice to see how I could use them in a suburban house setting. You will also notice that I did build an external garage with this house as well. I don't tend to do this, but the lot was big enough for me to do it, so I thought, why not? I think I did it for my 100 baby challenge house. Yes, I did. I'm just trying to think of the exterior of the house. I've got this like sort of theme going on at the moment with my houses. I don't know if you guys have noticed of like these soft pastel-y pinky colours, and I think that carries through with this house as well. So it's really interesting. For me, when I go through colour palettes, I go through like rustic tones, neutral tones, and I go through like colourful, warm, like pinky tones. I'm definitely in the latter of those at the moment, and it's just really nice because I feel like it's summer at the moment, and then when it turns to autumn, my colour palettes will probably change again. When it turns to winter, again, they will change. So I'm thinking, probably in the back of my head, without even realising it, I'm thinking, okay, summery colours, spring colours, because we are about to head into summer in the UK. I don't know where you guys are from in the world, but we are definitely approaching summer. It's definitely getting warmer, and I think that is translating into my builds. Anyway, moving on. So you will see here the exterior has already sort of taken shape, and initially I wasn't sure about, I think at this point I was like, yeah, I quite like it, it's all right, but it's not really saying anything to me right now. I don't love it. And for me to post a build or a speed build, like a video, I have to love what I've done, otherwise I struggle to talk about it. So more often than not, I will make various decisions throughout the process, and it's really important for me as well to include them in the video so that you guys can sort of see the process that I personally go through when I'm making these decisions, because I don't want it to look like it just comes so easily to me, because this one definitely didn't, and I don't want it to come across as, you know, oh, well, you can just like pull together a colour scheme or an external structure. I use Pinterest and Google Images so much when I'm building. It's not even funny. I cannot recommend them enough if you are wanting to get into building in The Sims 4. They are so helpful. And if you wanted to build something really simple, just Google simple family home or simple family home on Pinterest, and you'll be so amazed at what comes up. You might even find a website that offers you like floor plans for the builds as well, which is really handy. I personally don't do that unless I am struggling massively with the floor plan on the interior. Luckily with this one, I didn't struggle at all, but we will talk about that when we get onto the interior of the house. But yes, I can't recommend Google Images and Pinterest enough. If you wanted to get into building, please go to them and use a reference image and try and replicate the reference images. That's all I can say, because that's all I do. I find a reference image that sort of piques my interest, and then I sort of adapt it to my own style. I've also gone off topic again, I've kind of gone off topic. I'm still talking about building, but I'm not talking about the house specifically. So you will see here, I have gone through already one colour scheme change, and the main thing that I've done is I've changed a few of the colours of the flowers on the landscaping, and I've also changed the flower boxes to yellow. And I was convinced at this point that I was going to create a powder blue and yellow exterior house, because it's not something that I've ever explored before. And then I took a break, I came back to it, and I was like, what was I thinking? Like, I don't like this. So you will see very shortly that I changed the flower boxes to pink, and then we changed the roof texture and colour to a completely different roof. And it's so important for me to include this in my builds, because it is a process that I go through. Colour schemes in particular, I wouldn't say I struggle with them, but what I struggle with is landing on one that I actually like. I'm more than happy to try any sort of colour scheme or colour palette together, but when it comes to the exterior of my builds, sometimes I get a little bit stumped. And you can already see that I've gone through, okay, well, I'm going to change the roof colour, and this is okay, like this looks fine, but it looks a bit wishy-washy for me. I don't know if that makes any sense. Probably not, because wishy-washy I feel is quite it's a very British term, or at least I think it is. I don't know if you guys would use the term wishy-washy. And what I mean by that is it's not really saying anything at this point. It's not really making a statement. And again, I changed the flower boxes again back to white, and I was thinking, okay, this is quite nice. I took a screenshot and I edited it and I posted it, and I was like, no, I still don't like it. Like this, it's just something about it is not sitting right with me. And that's when you will see me changing the flower boxes to pink. Again, such a minor thing, but it just changed the entire look and feel of the build. And then I started to think, okay, well, I can do some really awesome colours on the interior. I can be a little bit more cheeky with the colour schemes on the inside. And I think I was still in the mindset of my 100 baby challenge build, because when I did that house, I was thinking, okay, like pastel-y pinks and blues and yellows and oranges and greens and like whatever. And I think I carried that over into this house without even realizing it. So this is me changing the flower boxes to pink, and you can just see it's just popping a little bit more. It just looks so much nicer. If this is not your preferred sort of color or style, changing the flower boxes back to either yellow or white will completely change the look and vibe of this house. So if the pink's not really, you're thinking, oh, I don't really like that, download it and change the colour. It really doesn't matter. This for me was just something that I wanted to explore because I haven't used, and this is going to sound really crazy, but I haven't used the pink flower boxes for such a long time and I wanted to use them. So I felt this was a really good opportunity. Also worth noting that the smaller windows in like the top pitches and then the top parts of the roof, I don't know what you call them, like dormers I think they're called. Those windows are from the Seasons pack. I think they work really well with the windows from the My Wedding Stories pack. I just think they look really nice. I love that I included a separate garage with this house as well. I don't include me decorating the garage within the footage just because I put a car in there and then a couple of decorative objects. I also put in the flower arranging table from Seasons. Not much going on in there, so I didn't feel it warranted taking up part of the footage. I hope you guys don't mind. I also decorated the hallways off camera as well, like I usually do. I don't know if that's helpful or not. But at the end, you will see the bird's eye view screenshots of the floor plans. I have started to do that in my builds because people have been asking me to do it, and I'm like, oh, I don't, like, it's not going to be helpful. I realise how helpful it actually is, me including them, because you can see the floor plans very clearly. But yes, I didn't include the footage of me doing the hallways. Some of the bathrooms I also cut. I believe the only bathroom I decorated on camera was the main bathroom on the ground floor, but we will talk about that more a little bit when we get onto the interior. We are still working on the exterior. I did do the back garden before I moved on to the interior. It's something that I'm trialing on the channel. I'm trying to do the exterior and then the garden. What I've done previously is I've done the exterior, then the interior, then I've moved on to the garden. But my sort of thought process, at the moment is to do the exterior, then the garden, then the interior. It just seems a little bit more organic and a little bit more logical. So you can see here we do have a pool. It's not very big, but it's functional. I tested it out. There's a couple of floaties in here as well. I also included the swing set from our brand new kit. I think it's called the Little Campers kit, which I think is really cute, along with 2 chairs from that kit as well. Just here, like the little fox and the, I think I used a wolf or like a husky. I can't exactly remember. I'm just trying. Yes. Is it a husky? What is that? Oh, it's a cat. Sorry, it's a cat. And then we have an outdoor seating area here. There's a barbecue as well. And then there's a path leading up to the back of the garage. And I did replace the windows with a door because eSims had to access the garage to be able to do some of the activities inside the garage, so I felt it was appropriate. But now we are moving on to the interior. We're working out the floor plan. The floor plan came very easily to me with this. I cannot express enough how easily this floor plan came to me, and I never say that ever, but you will notice that this is slightly smaller than some of the builds that I've done previously. I needed a break from my huge family builds. Some people might consider this big. It's big, but it's definitely not as big as my previous builds. I will link not the 100 baby challenge, I'll link I can't remember, our Dream Generations home, that's the one in the top right hand corner for you now, so you can check that one out. That's another huge build. I feel like I've done a couple of weeks of them, and then this is more of like a medium-sized family house. This is really refreshing for me. I found this much easier to try and navigate the floor plan. So I hope that comes across in the footage. That is my first shot at the floor plan as well. Usually I'm sat here saying this is my 5th or 6th attempt. First shot, got it in one. Yes. What can I say? Anyway, this is the living room. I decided to use a fireplace from the cottage living pack. I think it works really well with this house. I'm trying to speak today. I'm having trouble. I feel like I say that every single voiceover. This is the fireplace from the cottage living pack. We do end up changing the swatch for the white swatch just because, again, I wanted to keep the interior really fresh and fun and clean, but also colourful at the same time. And as much as I like the vibe that we've got going on here, it just kind of like darkens it a little bit, so I end up changing it for the white swatch. Nothing major. I don't know why I'm making a big deal out of it. It doesn't really matter. So you will be probably thinking right now, Rachel, why are you smushing like the living room into this weird corner? What I end up doing is I end up putting a bookshelf in the top left hand corner here, and then I end up putting in the top right hand corner like a little crafts table for the kids. Again, thinking about the family friendly vibe, but we will talk more about that when I get onto that part. But I really, really like this space actually. It's, again, colourful. I don't do this enough. I used to do this with my builds. I'm going to say back in the day, back in my days of Tumblr. I am still on Tumblr. I still post on Tumblr, but it's purely just the sort of like screenshots and overview for the houses that I upload. I used to upload gameplay shots and like work in progress shots on my Tumblr. It saddens me sometimes that I don't do that anymore, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But the aesthetic of this particular house kind of reminded me a little bit of my Tumblr days, with the mismatching and the bright colours and the like Maxis match was what I would call it. And I know Maxis match covers a wide range of styles, but like the Tumblr, the Simbler Maxis match style, and it was really refreshing for me to revisit this. Again, I did this with my 100 baby challenge build, which you guys have just loved, and I love doing that build so much, and it's so nice for me to see that you're actually using that build as well. It warms my heart anyway. But I did the same thing with the interior of that build. I wanted it to be just, again, I'm going to say colourful again. Take a shot every time I say colourful. I don't mind. I'll join you. But you know what I'm getting at? Like, that's the sort of vibe that I wanted to portray in this build, so I'm hoping we achieve that. I feel like we nailed it. You will again have to let me know in the comments down below what you think. It's ever so slightly different from what I'm used to doing. I feel like I don't have a particular style going on right now, and that I'm totally fine with that. I am totally fine with that. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat for a second. I've just eaten the biggest Sunday dinner you've ever seen in your entire life. So anyway, I digress. What was I even saying? Something about interior decorating styles. I'm useless. Anyway, doesn't matter. I feel so bad for you guys listening to this voiceover because this is not good. If you've made it this far, like, wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. But this is the other part of the living room that I was talking about before. With the with like the little desk, like the little crafts desk that your Sims can sort of you can have family time in this room. Someone can be reading a book, you can be crafting on the table, you can be watching TV, warming yourself by the fire, having a cup of hot chocolate. It's just a really, really family friendly room. Again, I wanted to bring that into this house. Families first, family oriented, like whatever. That's definitely wanted to portray in this build. Anyway, this is the kitchen. Again, keeping it fun and fresh. I used the cabinets and counters from the Dream Home Decorator pack. I feel like it's been a long time since I've used these. In reality, it's probably not been that long, but I'm trying to think when the last time I used these was. I feel like it was a long time ago, so I thought it was appropriate for me to use them in this particular house, just keeping with the vibe that we've got going on. I'm not going to say the words because you've got it at this point because I've said it about 50 times. So the colour scheme again came together really, really quickly. Every single room in this house that you can see is my first attempt at the room, which is again quite unusual for me to say because normally I'm sat here saying it took me 10 attempts to try and figure out a master bedroom plan that I liked or a colour scheme that I liked. But with this house, things came very, very easily. And I think my throat just gargled. April's gonna have a field day. Anyway, okay, I'll talk a bit about that for a second. So Miss Simrina, aka April, you guys probably already know who she is. We're very good friends outside of the Sims community. We're very good friends. Me, Reese, i.e. Reese Love, and April are very good friends outside of the Sims community, and we were playing Is It 7 Days to Die last night, and my throat gargled while we were playing, and she said, Rachel, did your throat just gargle? And I was like, no. And she said, yes it did. because we both have the same problem with throat gargles, and one just happened while I was doing a voiceover, and I just don't want to edit it out. I just don't want to do it. So you're welcome, April. Anyway, the kitchen is pretty much nearly done. I'm just adding a little dining space over here. Again, I had in the back of my mind, I didn't realise that I was going to fit 8 Sims in the house at this point. So if you want to add another chair just on the end here, please feel free to do so. Because at the moment you can only fit 7 Sims in here. But it doesn't matter. Like, are your Sims really going to be eating together like all at the same time? Probably not. Logistically speaking, I think not. But if they are, please feel free to add a chair. That's all I'm going to say. While I was doing the kitchen, I didn't realise how many Sims I was going to fit into the house. I was thinking maybe 6, and then I was like, nah, let's go for the full 8. Let's do it, because people appreciate that. People like that. People who are playing with like different generations might have 8 Sims in the house. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like 8 Sims is a safe bet. And I feel like my throat's going to gargle again. Hopefully it doesn't, because that's embarrassing. Anyway, this is the laundry room. Yes, this house has a laundry room. This house has literally everything. 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a laundry room, a pool in the back garden, a separate garage. Like, what more do you want from a house? This is amazing. I think you should download this. I'm being biased, but I feel like you should download it. Anyway, the laundry room is cluttered, but not like messy cluttered. It's just enough cluttered. And I also added a vacuum cleaner, which is something that I usually forget in my builds, but every now and again I'm like, I remember to put a vacuum cleaner in this house. Way, pat on the back for me. I don't know how many people have the dust. What's the name of the dust pack? Is it bust to dust? What is it called? I just call it the dust kit. I'm going to be honest. How many of you actually have that? It'd be interesting to see, because as much as I love having vacuum cleaners in the game, like, that's awesome. I vacuum enough in real life with having 2 dogs. So I vacuum probably like 3 times a week. It's kind of exhausting actually, but I actually enjoy doing it. I like powder the carpets down with a scented powder that I buy, and then let it settle, and then I vacuum the floor, and it's so satisfying. I love cleaning. Anyway, the laundry room's done, as I've been having a ramble. Now we've moved on to one of the twin rooms on the ground floor. There are 2 of these rooms. They can be for children or teens. It doesn't really matter. I did add some sort of childlike activities. Not in this room, I don't think. Oh yes, I did. I added like the cat plush from the Cats and Dogs pack. But if you have teens in this room, then you can remove that. It doesn't really matter. So all of the kids' rooms in this house are twin rooms. Again, if you need to adapt it for the house that you have, the family that you have moving in here, then you can do whatever you need to do. I just thought it would be a good idea to try and fit 8 Sims in this house, because it doesn't look like an 8 Sim house. And it's deceptive. So I thought, like, let's just push it to the max, and then if you guys need to turn it back, then it's easy to do. Like, that was my thought process. I love the colour scheme in this room. This is probably my favourite bedroom of the entire house, with the purple and the orange sort of colour scheme going on. I think it's really, really pretty. I also managed to fit a desk in here. It's fully functional. I play tested that room in particular because I was like, there might be a problem here, but everything works as intended. This is the other twin room. It's like a red and blue theme, which I thought was quite cool. So we've gone for orange and purple, red and blue, and then upstairs is turquoise and yellow, I believe, in the kids' rooms. So I thought it was quite nice to sort of explore a wide range of colour schemes. So yes, I really, really like how this room turned out actually, and I have used these beds in a previous build not too long ago, so I didn't know if that was a good idea, but I do like them. I think a red and blue colour scheme room is very, very easy to put together, so that's what I decided to do with this one. Again, using a chair from our new little campers kit. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, the little campers kit. I have done an overview of that kit, by the way. I will link it up in the top right hand corner for you now if you want to go and check that out. If you're not sure if you want to buy it, I review every single item, every single swatch, and we have a bit of a chat about kits in general. So if you want to check that one out, please do so. But yeah, I used a couple of items from that in this build. I hope you don't mind. If you don't have that kit, it doesn't really matter. I didn't use that many items from the kit. The swing set you can replace in the back, and the chairs in the rooms, like you can easily replace them. It's no big deal. But yes, this room, again, it came together very, very quickly. I love how it turned out. I love, if you're returning to the channel, one of my favorite things to do in my family houses is to clutter up and decorate kids' rooms. They're so much fun trying to come up with different color schemes and making them look really playful and youthful and lived in. I love doing them so much. If you would like me to do a tutorial on kids' rooms, then please let me know. I want to start introducing tutorials to the channel, so please let me know what you might find useful. I talk about this all the time, whether it's like cluttering, roofing, landscaping, decorating, whatever you think would be helpful, just let me know and I will put one together for you. I have no problem with that whatsoever. This is the downstairs bathroom. It's very large, but the idea is that the 4 kids on the ground floor share this room. And so I thought for gameplay and things like that, I thought this worked really, really well. The color scheme is blue and yellow. It's very fresh and fun, and it's really, really cool. I really like how this room turned out, actually. Again, it came together very, very quickly, and I do end up cluttering up these cabinets. Again, from the Dream Home Decorator pack, I just replicated the the counters from the kitchen just to make it fluid and like make everything matching. Now we move on to the, what on earth just happened to my mouth? That was me like just with my mouth. Anyway, now we've moved on to the top floor and we are currently trying to work out the floor plan. Again, it came together very, very quickly. It didn't take me long whatsoever because I knew that I wanted to fit 2 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms up here. The master suite has an ensuite, so that's really, really handy. This is the other twin room. This, I would say, apart from the Yeti teddy, is definitely more geared towards teens or older kids. There's nothing too like kiddie about it, if that makes sense. Like the lights kind of are and some of the toys around, but it's definitely not over the top. Oh, that's where a child sim would be. So if you need to turn it back because you've got teenagers in here, if you want to turn it into a guest room or a study, like whatever you need to do, it would definitely not be a problem. Or a nursery. I think because in my 100 baby challenge build, I did rooms for every life stage in The Sims 4. I felt I just wanted to do 3 separate kid/teen rooms, so I hope you don't mind that. I hope it's sort of varied enough for the families that you want to move in here. I really do, because I don't like pigeonholing certain families, but it's hard not to when you're doing builds because you have to make a decision there and then, like, what do you want this room to be? Anyway, this room's pretty much done. Again, turquoise and yellow. I think it looks really good. This is the master bedroom and the last room of the build. It came together very quickly. I think we went for like a bluey, yellowy theme in here. There's not too much going on, to be completely honest. I tried to keep it just as minimal as possible because I struggle with master bedrooms. What more can I say? But that is pretty much it for this build. You can grab this house from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much to everyone who has joined me here today. You all take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!